Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair coverage of E3 2015. I'm your host, Larry the Chupacabra, joined by Mr. Phobian, who is going to nerd out again because it's Star Wars, but we're going to look at Star Wars Battlefront. It's the new one coming out. We finally got to see some gameplay footage from the PS4, and it looks delicious. There's lasers, there's delicious TIE fighters fighting rebel scum from the galaxy, there's orbital bombardments. It looks tasty, and I'm pretty stoked for it. I know a lot of people have been really excited since DICE has been sort of teasing different components of it off and on. Like, you know, they've gone back and they've found, like, the original sort of figurines and models and stuff from the original Star Wars movies to nerdgasm over before going out and making the game and modeling it as most realistically as possible. And they even went to, like, the original locations. So it looks pretty good. And from the sort of gameplay that we've seen so far, you can play a whole variety of different characters. You can play as foot soldiers on both the Rebel side and the Imperial side. You can play as starfighters, robot mech walker droid pilots. And it's probably going to be very, you know, Call of Duty Battlefield-esque, where you can just run around and get inside of different vehicles and grab different weapons as needed to accomplish historic Star Wars battlefield objectives. Like in the gameplay footage, we saw, you know, the battle for Hoth, and they gotta activate the uplinks and fend off the Empire as long as possible for the assault. Maybe we'll even get to see her play alongside of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, so I'm sure that'll make everyone really super excited. And, you know, Mr. Phobian, you're like the biggest Star Wars nerd that I know. What is your take? Nerd out for me for a minute.
Oh, God, this game is going to be so good. I had my doubts, or not really doubts, but kind of, I was afraid that they were going to go away from, like, what Star Wars Battlefront really was. Like, it really was just the embodiment of awesome kind of battles in the Star Wars universe. I'm still hesitant about EA. They scare me. Not sure, but this game is going to be great. The gameplay footage was amazing. Like the weapons, like they're getting in detail. I love it. I love seeing detail, getting lore. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and I mean, the only things that I'm sort of having reservations about it, because we have seen some cheating by developers recently with first-person shooters. One of my biggest gripes, most notably Titanfall. There's a lot of NPCs, which are important for this sort of universe. It has to feel big. It has to feel gigantic. I mean, these are big, colossal, titanic battles from the Star Wars universe, so you need all of that. But we gotta make sure that there are a lot of people in all of these battles, a lot of different individual players fighting it out, so it really feels both immersive and challenging, because AIs are never that challenging. They just aren't. They're AIs, they're computers, computers are dumb. And so the other thing is that, like, I really hope there's enough, like, battlefield objectives, enough vehicles, enough weapons, enough sidearms, enough characters to really let you feel like there's always something new to do, something new to keep you engaged, and, like, a whole universe, a whole Star Wars universe worth of stuff. And we sort of have, like, inklings of that. You can call in, like, planetary bombardments of lasers. Maybe you're a supporting role and you've got a shield that can stop that bombardment. You know, there's mech walkers, but, you know, it's a mech walker. We've got futuristic missiles that can blow you up and turn all the people inside of you into a fine red mist. So hopefully there's a whole load of stuff just like that to really build out. Maybe we can fight on speeders. Maybe it's really easy to get into a squadron of fighters and just go fight off of the enemy TIE fighters. It remains to be seen, but it's looking very promising, and I'm hopeful. You know, there's just been a lot of questionable things that promise a lot in the next generation so far, so it'll be fun to see where this goes. Do you have any other notes on that, Mr. Phobian? Anything you're worried about or super excited for specifically?
Well, I'm afraid, I'd mentioned it already, the whole EA and their microtransactions. They're pretty famous for putting all of their extra stuff onto additional things, or payment. So I'm hoping that the Clone Wars, that was a pretty big thing that a lot of people kind of upset about is not going to be a downloadable content, and it's actually going to be given to us for free. It should be. And that space combat is actually going to be something that's going to be there.
Yeah, and that can definitely be a big, drawback, is like they spend a lot of time on another component of the game and they miss out on like the finishing touches and the refinement on like mech walkers and flying TIE fighters and rebel fighters. So that is definitely a really big worry. Hopefully, if they do see fit to add some type of microtransaction payment system to the game, it's just something very minor like, look at that guy. He looks like a peacock running through the battlefield. Everyone murder that kid. Murder his face. Murder him now. I don't want to see him flashing through the battlefield. He insults us all. But aside from that, I mean, like you said, like hopefully even if they do decide to tear a huge chunk of the game out and add it as a DLC later, it's not a ridiculous DLC like we saw with like Evolve, where you didn't even get out of the starter gate, where they were already trying to nickel and dime you for the extra couple of classes in each tree that you should have just gotten on launch. But I mean, all we can do is hope. I also hope for their sake too, because there's going to be a lot of pissed off fans, and those wolves have teeth this time. So, other than that, we are still pretty hopeful. It looks really fun. It's got great, beautiful graphics. It seems to play and handle really well on the PS4, and it'll probably handle even better on the PC when it gets there. So, until next time, I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra, joined by Mr. Phobian, talking about Star Wars Battlefront and E3 2015. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Toodaloo, everyone.
See you guys.
Oh man, just watch Darth Vader in the background just murder all of those people. He's just like, oh, were you thinking about having a drink with him after the battle was over? Shame that I just murdered him in front of you. Guess this is happening. Alright, get out of here, you crazy kids.